Hi, happy Sunday
Hi,
to you. How are you?
thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And
Sure, always
thanks.
welcome. It's always a pleasure, actually, that
Thank you.
you also devote your Sunday brunch time. And also, hi, everybody. Hi, Sharda. How are you? Nice to see you. Hi,
Nice to
Carla,
see you too. Thank you
Camila.
so much for having me for this amazing and very interesting topic.
Sure,
Uh,
very,
just
very
want to
much
mention something
welcome.
before we start. I don't have, today is cloudy here and even is starting drizzling. So I, I don't have the luxury of daylight today.
Oh, no problem. I don't have the luxury of daylight neither because the days are getting shorter and shorter, and now we have no sun anymore. So, um, the world is just for once. That's no problem. Yalda Jun
All right.
Salam. So, just to inform about the topic, I was actually very much surprised as I proposed my friend Dylan. Why don't we talk about rebellion and authenticity and the link to leadership? Because, as you all know, Dylan is a leadership expert and also a neuroscience expert, an entrepreneur, and a real estate expert. Expert in many things. But he welcomed actually my idea, and I thought I'm the only rebel in the world. Or at least among my friends and family. And suddenly he was very happy, exactly, just to talk about a topic. So um, I thank you very much so that you joined me. And the thing was that some of us, we think if somebody looks professional or serious, or if somebody is highly educated or have like high achievements in life and has really high social status, then the only thing that we don't really think about this person is that he or she has also a rebel inside him, because normally the society or the world system understand rebellion as a kind of in order or anarchy or something negative, unfortunately, because the world normally want us, or let's say the majority, to be slaves and servants of those who have more power than us. Let's
Yeah,
say
that's
authority.
true. That's true, and that's why actually I love your idea to have a Facebook Live about this because I know you're a rebel. Um, uh,
I
so,
was not. I am
uh,
still,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
and
you
I
are
will
from
be. I will
childhood,
die
and
a
you
rebel. That's
still are,
it.
and you will be. You will
Yes.
stay as a rebel. So do I. And there are some friends actually are joining us. So
Yes.
our
Lovely.
topic.
Ali John,
Uh,
hello.
yeah,
Albert John, salam. Thank you very
we
much.
welcome everyone,
Mercedes.
Vanessa, Yalda, and Tony. And I don't see like all the spectrum of audience, but I see some of them. Welcome to our discussion. The topic is rebels and authentic leadership. And as Awin mentioned, unfortunately, rebels and rebellious or rebellion um, have been stigmatized during history. And that's why we want to talk about that and change that perspective. Uh, I know many people, there are many rebellion or rebels leaders in the world. They have been, and they are, and they will be. This is how our world improves. So, I mean, if you go ahead and describe your perspective of rebel and give us an example of your real life story, that would be
Sure.
great.
Ali John, very much excited as well. Madam Hamintor, he is also a power man and a rebel. So happy to have a nice crowd actually with us. Well, I would like to say first just a few words. So, what is a rebel, or what identifies a rebel? Because, as I said, mostly is understood very negatively. So it is like those people who are just acting differently, or who just don't want to obey, or just don't want to fit in. That's actually the best definition. So, the world system. Uh, as I said, expect all of us to follow its expectations and rules and routines. So just to hold a kind of system, or to have those others who are in power, this to state in immanent power. So then throughout the history, two groups of people have been shaped just because of this system. Those who decided to wear all shields and masks and to start pretending and protecting themselves just by the rule of safety and survivals, and those who decided to become game changers and rule breakers and said, we question and we challenge these rules. Why shall we do this and why not others? So they became, in a way, the majority because they were also predestinated with risks and adversities. And as I said, as you mentioned, actually stigmatizations. And they have been being labeled throughout the history as rule breakers and for their living beyond routines and cliches. And actually, the high features and the clear features of the rebels, which are all positive actually, is curiosity, talent, their eagerness for novum, to do innovation. It is actually different than creation. Their honesty, their authenticity, their diversity of perspective, their seeking for conflicts and solutions instead of giving in, and of course their high level of energy. And all this, when they're allocated in the right direction, um, or if they are like under positive energy or on the right path, they can do only good in the world, and they can really create immense positive changes in the world. So that would be actually the proving wrong of the stigmatization. So I have been a rebel all my life. I mean, that's it. So I'm open and honest, as I said. So, but honesty is one thing and authenticity is one thing, because the society keeps us in a way, or hold us back from being authentic, because then we don't fit in with the majority, and then we may lose some of advantages or some opportunities in life, or we may not be in real harmonic relationships, or let's say setups, because we just want it differently. Now, not always in a, I mean, negative way. I mean, not always, actually, never. But that's something that makes us different, and different is always scary because it's openness for change. So for me, funny enough, as I was a school child, I was somehow always pointed at and opted out in for being, let's say, the class representative. When the class was taken out somewhere, or there was like a kind of group teamwork or something, a kind of assignment or something, they would say, okay, I mean, you just check out that all these 5 people are doing this and that. You can check out that these 10 people are doing this and that. Okay. Or you look if everybody is writing the exams correctly, or if they are doing it right. And then later on, as I was also growing up, one very nice feeling that I had, and this is what I want to actually share with you, that leading is not always also this feeling of managing something or suppressing something, but when you stand in front and there's a group of people like behind you, they could be also with you or at the same row like you. This feeling I had as I was a sport instructor. And you know, in those huge halls and rooms and with big mirrors and really exciting music, and you know, the whole temperature and energy, I was sometimes so energized when the warm up was over and it was a great energy in the whole room, just looking in the mirror behind me, 50 persons, actually normal people, I don't know, housewives, academics, tall ones, short ones, young one, old one, they were doing that what I was telling them, and they were feeling happy. So they had all like this kind of energized face, and they were screaming. And after the sessions were finished, everybody was coming to me and thanking me and say, great, thank you for the energy. So I had like this feeling with the age of 21 or 22, how great it is. Like I have an army behind me, and I help them feel good. And they are all in a way fascinated by what I do, and they love the energy. So this was like my dream. Probably it's negative that I was seeing it as an army behind me, but it was the honest and the real feeling that I had. So here
That's
you go.
awesome. Actually, I had an army behind me,
Oh
and
no.
yeah,
Okay, thank
in
you.
military, in Air Force, in my military duty for 2 years, I ended up to Air Force Base in Tehran. So there are some other people are joining us. Just for those people who are joining recently, the topic is the
Yes.
rebels and authentic leadership, and this is very interesting topic. So today we're talking about that. Back to your point that you felt like you were the leader of an
Like a
army.
commander, you know?
That
But
exactly. I became the commander of 180 soldiers after 2 weeks in military.
okay, I'm jealous.
Uh, yes, and
So,
interestingly, when they told me, I was called to the like the boss office,
wow.
and he said, "We have chosen you to be the leader of a group." He didn't mention which one. And then it happened, and I was happy. What they were thinking, because they knew, they found out that I was kind of stubborn, and I was Kurdish from Kurdistan, and so it was a different perspective they had, and they gave me the worst group in that Air Force base
To
to
test
be
your
the
leadership.
exactly under my command, and it was not easy for a boy from minority from a small border town to go to Tehran and be the leader of 180 soldiers in Air Force Base, and the worst group ever, they said, in that Air Force. The Air Force Base actually is in south of Tehran.
Hmm.
And I started to working with them. But my approach was totally different than their perspective from me. And because, as you mentioned, from childhood, I was not an easy person. I couldn't accept the norm of society easily.
Who
I
else
was,
wasn't? Who else wasn't? Please, thumbs up.
I,
Come on.
yeah, I was a rebel. So I started working with them. And by the way, being a rebel, it doesn't mean to be mean. It doesn't mean to
Mhm.
be bad to people
That's
or,
unfortunately what is how it's understood.
yes, exactly. I started actually to divide the whole 180 soldier, the whole group, to different categories, because every person, they have some preference in life. And the important thing is to meet the 6 human basic needs of people. Then you have them. So I started to work with them and talk to them. And what I did, I was spreading love and compassion and see why they are not following the rules. And I was not following the rules also, but with different perspective. So I started actually to give them more opportunity to go out of the base. And I was called several times to my boss office, and he said, "You are doing a wrong thing." I said, "If you have chosen me as the leader of this group, please let me do it."
Mhm.
And I went through my rules. I totally changed and the perspective of being in army. And it was interesting that we became friends with those people. In 2 months, the group turned around completely.
Wow.
Even when we had march, like military march, our group became famous as the earthquake group. It was so amazing that everything united. every single movement, every single opportunity, every single thing got united. And I got these 180 soldiers behind me and
Wow.
followed me and supported me. And even later on, when there was something going on, like at the end of my military duty, and they wanted to hold up my uh, card, like when we finished the military duty, they give us a card, uh, and they wanted to hold it. One of the soldiers who was working actually at the chief of command in that military base, he gave me the card 5 days before I finished. So it's not about holding resentment against people. It's not about being mad at people. It's not about hostility. Unfortunately, as you
Exactly the
mentioned,
other way
it is
around. It's about
stigmatized
being
like that.
humble. Yeah.
Exactly.
Rebels are
It's
actually
being
super
humble,
humble.
being
I have never seen
yourself,
an
being
arrogant. Hmm.
exactly, being human.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes. I have done many mistakes in my leadership, but as a rebel, I embrace the rebel opinion. I embrace the opposite opinion, and that's how we grow. That's how we improve.
Yes, actually, now you brought me to a very nice features of the rebels, because I just wanted to list this out, as I have been through a very nice and interesting and inspiring research of Harvard a while ago, as I was trying to find out what kind of rebel I am or other people are, because I started to notice that there are also others, and they are starting, like, when they get to know me, we start quickly to relate and resonate, and this rapport is there. So we feel, okay, they also in a way act similar, or they have similar characteristics. So I went through that article to find out what kind of could I be, or what kind of the others are, just to help myself identify, or to get to know myself better. So there were like really five main criteria listed, as one of them is a typical one that we just also mentioned, and everybody knows them. When rebels become leaders, um, they are the most authentic leaders amongst their peers, because they didn't choose, as I said, the way of pretending and being in safety and protecting, but they said, we choose the tough way. I mean, tough because they are not the majority, but we act the way we are. So that's the first characteristic, actually, that they break away from routines with new novel ideas and strategies, because normally they come with novums. I mean, I think once, as we discussed also about this topic, you mentioned once Martin Luther King, and I want to go a few hundred years back and talk about Martin Luther. He was also a rebel of his time, as he came during the Renaissance time, and he started publishing his 97 theses throughout all the region. And he became, I mean, in a way, new as the kind of like outliner and the one to be stigmatized and labeled, actually. So they have their difficulties throughout the time. And the second characteristic is that they always seek out differences of opinions, and in a way healthy conflicts, because they don't like when they are interacting with people that everybody giving quickly and said yes, yes, yes. They want to hear, it is like this, but, or I agree, and either you add up something from your side, so that you are not just that person that whatever which is coming from outside, you directly absorb it, and nothing added to that. Or you can just say, I do agree, but you just turn the story around. So then a kind of healthy conflict starts to be built, and then discussions come up, and rebels seek solutions as well. They don't want to leave a conflict in a kind of unclarified or unclosed case in that way. And what is also the third one is that they show authenticity in full view, regardless of the situation, regardless of the place and circumstances, etc. And that's caused them also a huge load of problems, of course. And they are open to learn and grow, and let's say to change in a good way, or stretch or transform. And they allow also their people in their surrounding. Let's say you definitely also allows those 180 people to reveal or to show something authentic from themselves and to grow and stretch in a way. And the last or the fifth main features, that characteristic that they also have very boldly, it's their entrepreneurial approach and spirit. I mean, look at us both. We did not fit in like in workplaces, etc. You, I mean, surgeon, doctor, clinic and hospital manager, and then everything else. And afterwards, you ended up building up your own business and breaking out of, let's say, authority system. And I myself, I mean, I have my funny story also. I never fit in a workplace for more than, I don't know, 2 3 years. They were the maximums. And I ended up also building up my own things, despite all challenges, and that all actually really want to be or starting entrepreneurs they also face, because that belongs to the phase. One thing that I want you, please, to point out, because you are the leadership expert, and once I read one of your researches or presentations, um, it was about toxic and great leadership. So for me, it was super inspiring and interesting, because then I found actually the way of great leadership also, like towards myself. I cannot say I'm a great leader, but I found a lot of resonance with those characteristics of great leadership. And then I distanced really from the toxic leadership. I remember once, as I wanted to write your title, type your title as manager or management, you corrected me very elegantly and said, please remove management and change it to leadership. So
Yeah.
just tell us in a few words, what is that toxic and great? Who are they, or what are that make them different?
Yeah. So let's welcome the new people are joining us on Facebook Live.
Patrick, ciao.
Welcome
Kakenzam.
Silvana, Lisa, Aryan, and
Albert,
Yasa.
ciao.
We are talking about rebels and authentic leadership. And leadership in society, in the whole world, is very, very important, because actually the leaders are holding the movement. They are starting a movement.
The moment.
Someone like Steve Jobs, someone like Bill Gates, like many others. But back to your question about leadership. Leadership to me is a spectrum. On this spectrum, everybody has the talent to be a leader, but almost probably less than 1% of the society actually take the leads. But everybody can acquire that skill. Leadership is a spectrum from being a toxic, like dictators, someone like Saddam Hussein, for example, or Hitler.
That's what I want to hear, actually.
To be a great leader, we can fit.
What is the difference, really? Where is the thin line? Where is the red line?
Yeah, it's a spectrum, so we can move actually in this spectrum. A great leader might not be always a great leader. Sometimes we have to set back. Sometimes we fail. Sometimes we get this kind of different personality, that we have like different personality in ours. But every time, like one or couple of those personality are dominant. So that's why I think leadership is a spectrum. You can move. The important thing about leadership is staying in that ingenious rebel or great leadership. And that's how I was called ingenious rebel leader, because of the work I've done. Like in medical school, I became the president of students in medical school. And it was a small medical school. I was the like second class in that medical school. It was pretty newly established, and they didn't have anything. And it was in one of the very extreme religious city, and because I was not accepted the first time because of this Islamic whatever called confirmation or something. They didn't let me even before I mentioned that I was ranked actually one of the top nationwide when I took the exam, but they sent me there. And when I saw the situation, and I had that experience from before, especially the military experience, that my group became the best ever in that Air Force base per their study, per what they told me. I started to change that medical school. The group before us, when they took the exam, the basic science exam, there were at that time there were 20 medical schools open, and we were ranked 17, which was terrible.
Not good. Yeah.
And then when I started this like a big club for the students, and then we divided in different teams, different clubs, and um, study groups, and many other artistic and entertainment clubs that at that time was forbidden. It was not allowed even in like big universities. But I did it. We had like poetry, we had music night, we had a lot of fun
Diversity,
things.
right? Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Very diverse activity. And then when we took the test, between 23 medical schools, we were ranked number 3.
Wow. 14.
Yes, behind Shiraz and Milli or Sheikh Beheshti University. Even we got ahead of our um, parent university, or as the United States we say sister university. So that is the power of rebels or rebellious leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you spread love, compassion, peace to people, when you talk to people
And
like a
also
human,
openness,
exactly,
they're just open to the other human beings and for changes. So they're not stuck in a kind of certain personality or character or a routine. So they're open. If there's a change coming
that
in, they just move on. Of course, they start first questioning and challenging it, but then um, they go.
well, I had a lot of difficulty with the authorities, and a good thing you brought this up because
That's a part of being that.
it's part of the game. Authority, it doesn't mean leader or leadership. Leadership is by choice. Leadership is not ranking, is not about your
No,
position in
a
an
hierarchy.
organization or company. Leadership is something inside you. Leadership is by choice. Leadership is something that you want to change that community or that society for a better thing, for good thing. Hopefully that's the part of the great leadership on the spectrum. Hopefully it's not for bad things like
Just one
dictators.
nice actually example also came to my mind as you just mentioned before, a few personalities as rebels. I was also thinking about this gorgeous black lady, Rosa Parks, who also didn't want to fit in, and she was actually then the one who said, okay, in the bus you have to sit here and there and you have to go behind. She refused to do so. So that was also a kind of rebellion at that time, where was,
Yeah.
I mean, stigmatization of the races, etc., etc. So she gave her contribution to a huge change in the world, by just making one decision. Because I think the choices of living a life of a rebel and being authentic every day when you wake up is that every single day you make the choice and you make that small decision to be yourself. And especially when you're in a leading position, that is very much accepted and welcomed by the surroundings instead of being hated or in a way not admired as a kind of authority, or as you said, toxic leaders or dictators. So one very nice quote of her that I had now in mind, that was, no, the only tired I was tired of giving in. Rosa Parks. Was it fantastic? I mean, it makes just her cheeks glowing.
Yeah, she
I
was.
want to do something funny because we just don't want to actually do it today for a long time, for a long like last time, because I think we both have afterwards also appointments. I
Yes.
want to do something maybe novum, as if I would like to pick one of our lovely audiences to join us for 2-3 minutes conversation and interaction. I see Elham June is dabei. Hi, beautiful. Some people, some are escaping when I'm saying. Ali Jan, Jal Kharem. So if one
If you
person
can,
is eager to join us, to share a few words with us for just 1 minute,
yeah, that
just
would be
let me know.
great. Even if it's in like business, if you are a rebel in business leadership, that I'll talk and just mention a little bit about one of my experience there. If you there are some other people actually joining us right now.
Yes,
So
welcome,
the
Ilan
topic,
June.
yeah, the topic is rebels and authentic leadership. So welcome to join us. If you have anything to tell the audience and tell us
Yes, I want
about
one
this
person to
topic,
come
that
and
would be
share
great.
the screen with us, with just not asking questions or writing, but just come in probably.
Oh, awesome.
Ali John, are you coming? Just say yes or no. Shall we? I don't know how does it work. Let me see if I can. I need to choose first. Oh.
So while you're waiting for Ali to come on the
Well, I
screen,
just invited him. If he
hopefully it
accepts, it would be
works.
fantastic because I know he's been a
Let's
warrior. So 1 minute
Awesome.
sharing with us would be great.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. So let's talk a little bit more about uh, rebel and authentic leadership, our topic in business.
Okay.
Ali says,
Yes,
sorry.
Ali John, I called your name
Oh,
and I
okay.
actually added
Yeah,
you.
so
I
if you can
wanted
join us,
you
that
to
would be great.
come, and if you want, share 2-3 sentences with us, because I know you as smart and strong, and also leader and entrepreneur and also athlete. So we wanted to do something new today and ask one of our wonderful audiences to come and share 30 seconds or 1 minute, a few sentences with us. Would you be willing to join us? So I just tried once. Okay, probably until
So
he.
meanwhile you're working on that. You mentioned the Harvard study. I want to show you, if I can, a book by Francesca Gino, Rebel Talent. She's
Oh.
Italian American
Ah,
lady,
that's
and
her, Gino. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's
she's the
her. Yeah,
professor. Yeah, she's the
at Harvard.
professor
Yeah,
at school business, Harvard School Business School.
business school. Yeah,
Yeah, Harvard Business School. And
that's the same lady that I referred to actually.
yeah, actually, I messaged her that we have this topic on Facebook Live. She said probably she won't be able to see it because she's busy, but her book is very interesting, and
Okay,
you can
unfortunately,
read.
yes, he cannot join at the moment. I mean, we would not also expect, it's a Sunday, people want to be comfortable, or maybe they are not
Yeah.
in the right join. Absolutely no problem. I asked one other person, Yalda Jun, are you interested? or Elham, or just one thumbs up, and then I can quickly bring you in so that we don't lose a lot of time. Or maybe Jalachanu. Come on, it's a cool topic. Just 1 minute. Join us. Okay, no problem. I mean, if one person is interested, just give me a thumbs up, and I just click on add. But I just give it a try. Oh wait, I bring her quickly. Sorry. No problem. Elhamjan, I just added you, so we just want to know a few sentences from you, because I know you also as a rule breaker. I studied with Elham. We were studying two different fields, but in the same faculty of the same university. I was studying statistics, mathematics, and she was studying business and economic. But we were somehow best friends for quite a while during the university and afterwards. So I know she was also not the one obeying rules and pretty living beyond routines and cliches. So therefore, I thought that might be interesting, but okay, probably it's the wrong day, but we just wanted to do something new today. No problem. I thought I'm in St.
Be a
Louis,
rebel
and
all the time.
it's my topic, so I want some fellows
Yeah.
to join me. Okay, but actually soon we have to wrap up in a few minutes.
Yes.
So if anybody has questions, we would be also okay, probably. But Elhamjan, did you see my the notification that I added you? Probably you have to check your notification, and then you have to accept it if
Click
you're
it. Yeah.
exactly if you're interested, just for a few seconds, and just say something from you. And so probably we just say also quickly what we do both, or how we just came here, that it was, I think, all matter of authority, or living the life of our own, because rebels are also creators and innovators. I mean, it's also very crucial to know what the difference between these two terms is, because creating something, I tried once more, excuse me. I sent you the invitation. You have to check your notification, and probably you got an invitation to join a Facebook Live or to share screen. And because I could not add again, it was already grayed out. So creating is like to make something out of something else, or just to create an idea, or create a machine, or create a work of art or something. But innovation is, as the name is saying, it is creating something, but it must be a novum. It must be something that it was never there before. I mean, your example with Steve Jobs was great, or also a lot of people who just created their own rules and standards, or probably a product. They did it in a new way. So that's this kind of leaving that, I don't call it comfort zone anymore. I learned it from a good friend of mine, whether he would be around or something, Hardy, who calls comfort zone habit zone. Because he said once, comfort zones are actually not comfortable. They're super uncomfortable. But people just stay there because it's the habit, and it's they know it. So it is something that I know. And getting out of that zone is just like looking out of the box and doing something new. Not only creating something, but that thing should be also a novum. It should be new. So that's their also capacity of creating and innovating. So therefore, examples like Steve Jobs, or many, many others, or Rosa Parks, or let's say JF Kennedy, or a lot of other great examples, that they are bringing up their own set of standards. So to say we don't fit in, but we have something different to offer, something that can make the world a better place. and we can, in a way, contribute to our society, to our other fellows, human being, etc. So I see Elham said she just accepted, so I think we should have the honor to see her quickly on the screen somewhere. Maybe we wait a few seconds.
Yeah, and Alicia and Lindsay joined us, and I know Lindsay is one of the rebels actually here in the United States.
So I
Welcome,
think, yeah,
welcome,
right
rebel
people.
leader. Our topic is
Hi.
rebels and authentic leadership.
Yes, exactly. Just tell me in a few sentences, Dylan, why is authenticity so important um, in as a kind of leadership factor, a positive one?
Yeah, authenticity is.
Elham John, you can talk, but of course you can do whatever you want, but we don't see you. Maybe say something, probably we hear you. Excuse me.
Should I wait for Ilham or?
Well, she just wrote, can I just talk instead of screen sharing? Well, you should be able to if you joined already. It's a bit strange. I don't know. Sometimes this technology is also not.
Yeah, technology is good, but it's not that advanced to.
No, I didn't hear you, my dear. So probably my intention
Probably
was
doesn't
not
work
supposed to
this way.
work
I don't
now.
know.
I have to figure it out because I know it's possible that you just bring
Yes,
somebody
I
in.
know.
Or maybe you should ask to join and then I should accept you. Let's try it this way. I would love to
Yeah.
see or have a few sentences. Yeah, please tell me.
Yeah. So meanwhile,
How
let's talk about the authenticity. The authenticity is the believing in yourself, believe in whatever you say to do it. That's authenticity. Is not about the authority. Is not about the position. Is not about ranking. When you are a rebel, it means you have an idea, a novel idea,
a novel.
against whatever is the routine and the norm of that community or society, and you want to make it better. So that is rebel. And then when you stay with your idea, with your decision, with this novel thing that you want to do, you are authentic because you create it, you are staying with it, and you're doing it. And that's what I did actually in business side, because I grew up with business and science. And when I became a medical director for a company, I changed the whole rule of that company. And when you are a rebel, you must be prepared for being misunderstood and having a lot of opposite
And
opinions.
mistreated as well.
Exactly. I
Because
was
they are
mistreated
treated
too.
like
Yeah,
people who just
but
are different and
but
not good.
when you stay with your novel idea, you become an authentic leader, and that was happened. That our company became number one in the whole region, and that's
Wow.
how we got. Yes, we actually Shapol is
Oh, really?
online right now. If he's still online, he can confirm it, that that company became number one in the whole region, and we got all American oil companies, all of them without exception, European and Australian oil companies, as our clients, as a healthcare provider. So don't be afraid of changing the rules. Don't be afraid of opposing the norm of that company or society. That's how we improve. That's how we invent with these novel
And that's
ideas.
how we transform and we grow. Because the
Exactly.
resistance for change is the first and the worst enemy of growth.
Yeah,
Once we
and
resist something.
when you embrace the other opinions, because when you rebel, you like the other's opinion, the
Yeah.
opposite of your opinion, and be ready for that. And then when you get those ideas, you may get in fight, actually, not physical fight, but I mean opinion fight. with other people, with other rebels, with other leaders in your company, organization, community, society. But consider that as a polishing. We
Mm-hmm.
polish each other with these contacts, with these opposite opinions. And at the other from the other end of this process, we come out as a polished, authentic leader, someone like Steve Jobs, who changed the the perspective of personal computer, music, I don't know, even cinema, and
Yeah, a lot.
many other things that like phone
Yeah.
that was a novel method, because before Steve Jobs, before iPhone, the career companies were dictating the phone companies what to put on the phone. But Steve Jobs came up with this idea, said, no, we are making iPhone and we are dictating to you what it should be on the phone. And it was based on the audience, based on the clients.
I see. I mean, first, I saw also a few comments. Thank you very much, Yalda June, for also your nice comments. Of course, once a rebel, always a rebel. There is a one unfortunate fact that some of us or some of our fellow rebels, they lose their authenticity or their curiosity and their, rebellion because of the suppressions and, as you mentioned, the misunderstanding and the mistreating from the outside, from society, from family, from the working place, authorities, politics, etc. So that's a very unfortunate fact. And that's what I would like to share a message or spread out a message that don't ever, don't ever fit in. Just remember that very nice quote of Rosa Parks: if you're tired, be tired of fitting in, not of anything else. Because that would be the biggest enemy of growth once you start fitting in and giving in. So, yes, I totally agree with you, Golala. No problem. Absolutely no problem. Actually, today we are closing a little earlier, so you still have the chance to watch the video later. Um, Jale actually says a very nice comment. I hope I can read it to the end because one part is no more here clear to see. Um, she said there's a risk that when you are a rule breaker, you may lose continuously and you get lost. Well, that's actually what we all face. So I think important is how we react to those kind of what Dylan mentioned, those misunderstandings or mistreating. Definitely, we may lose from time to time, maybe our energy, our um, motivation to move forward, our drive. But normally, when it's really still burning inside, it's boiling inside, it comes back and it gives us like notifications. Hey, I'm still there. So we can't become comfortable in that situation. The risk to get lost, yes, it is high. That's why we actually both also last time uh, uh, stressed on the power of mentorship or coaching, or that there's a leader or there's a mentor beside you or sitting on your shoulders to tell you where to go or how to handle that, not to get lost or something. Because rebels are also actually super sentimental, sensitive human being as such, very humble, very humorous, very real, and very vulnerable because they're open for novum, and so they can get hurt pretty often. And of course, once they give in one certain point, they can get lost as well. That's unfortunately the risk, yes. Elhamjan, I
Yeah,
saw your
sometimes.
request. I don't know why we could not um, I could confirm it, but then I did not see you on the screen. I'm sorry.
I mean, just
Yeah,
let me add something
please.
to your answer to that question from Jale. Sometimes we have to set back, but be careful your setback is not too far. You have to set back, like Steve Jobs got fired from the company that he created that company, but he got fired and he had to sit back for a while and he came back. And that's what happened several times in my leadership in different places, from military to medical school to business, that I've done like several this rebel and authentic leadership in business. And sometimes I had to set back, but be careful, do not set back too far and come back
Yeah,
with more energy,
exactly.
get the momentum, come back and stay with your idea
Yeah,
until you make it happen. That
yeah.
is
It is
about
important
being a
to
rebel and being
sometimes,
authentic leader.
exactly, to sometimes lean back or just maybe take a break and reboot and refresh with, as you said, new innovative ideas, but not giving in or not quitting, because
Exactly. Exactly.
that would be the bitter end. And that's why actually many rebels, they don't bring it to the end. That's the
Yeah.
unfortunate fact. So
So we have to wrap it
we
up
have to
because
close,
we have to
unfortunately.
go on other interviews we have. And just Elham mentioned that it's about paradigm shift. Yes, it is about paradigm shift. And my recommendation to all you girls and boys are watching this Facebook Live right now, and those who are listening, who will listen to this later on, my recommendation is find the rebel side of you. It's
Oh
inside
yeah,
you, it's within you.
we
Change
all
your
have, we
paradigm,
all
change
have.
your mindset, and make it happen.
Yeah. And live it. That's important. If you find it, don't just ignore it, live it. That's important.
Exactly.
So at the very end of this session, I have to thank you, my amazing friends and families, for joining us and sharing this time with us. It is an honor to be with you for the second time. And the next time we will meet you again on the last Sunday of October. So it would be a privilege to share the time again with you. Same time, same place, Facebook, and same time. And as we also made the same offer last time, as you know me actually, or for those who just don't know what may I offer, I offer 5 consultation calls, 30 minutes free calls for those who are considering launching or building up a new business, and they are struggling with the idea or with the system or with a kind of support, etc. So as a business launch expert, I would love to offer at the end of every Facebook live session that we have, for those who shared the time with us or who are going to watch later, 5 free calls. Just PM me, and then we coordinate also the time. Dylan?
Yes, I have the same or like similar offer that we did last time. So if you wanna have a conversation about paradigm shift, about changing your mindset, about reprogramming your mind and restructuring your brain, that's my expertise. If you are in a leadership or you want to be a leader, that's my expertise. I love to talk to people and guide them and share with them my true story of stories of my leadership that I have had done actually in many different fields. Um, if you want to have a consultation or conversation with me, I'll be glad to talk to you. You can PM me on Facebook, on Messenger, or you can go to my website, dylandolati.com. Just put my first and last name together.com without space or anything. And on coaching, when you hover on that, you see a window comes down. It's a pull down window. It says Facebook Live promotion. When you click on that, you get a little box. You enter your email, and then I'll contact you. You can email me with your email and phone number, and then I'll contact you, and I'll be happy to assist you to become a rebel and authentic leader.
Yeah, just to combine them. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. I really enjoyed sharing some thoughts and stories and ideas and knowledge with you. And thank you very much also for your amazing feedbacks and ideas, for probably a few questions that we are not now taking care about. Of course, we can get connected offline, or we just respond to them comprehensively, thoroughly in the comments. They will not be unnoticed, definitely, by myself and by Dylaan for sure. So I love the topic, and I enjoyed really the session. Look at my cheeks. It's like I have been drinking wine. It was my topic. I think, yeah, that's the energy and also the excitement. So once more, thank you very much. See you in the session 3. And we will inform you also prior to the next session with the flyers and the topic, and hope to see as many of you as possible. Have a beautiful Sunday evening or rest of the Sunday.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and those people who will watch this video later on. We love you and send you positive energy. Contact us. Let's get together online or on the phone and move forward.
Get energized, get red cheeks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.